So hello and welcome to today's edition of Thankful Thursday. So to get started, you might want to have a couple blocks if you use blocks. And come to a comfortable seated position. So for today's topic, we're going to be talking about yoga for shoulder tension or discomfort. So I'm using, just diffusing that is, this new doTERRA oil bergamot mint because I find it uplifting. If I have any discomfort or tension though, my go-tos are going to be some lemongrass oil and some deep blue. And sometimes I use a little past tense as well. So obviously if you do have any kind of discomfort, you want to make sure you're medically cleared. You don't want to be hurting yourself. So this is an online class, so just honor your body at all times and, take it easy. So to start, we're going to bring our hands together and we're going to spread the fingers apart so that just the fingertips touch, and then I'm going to bend my thumbs in through that little triangle that they create and kind of touch the base of the pinky fingers. And just hold my hands in front of my chest here. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes completely. We'll begin taking those yogic 3-part breaths, inhaling, filling the belly, the ribs, all the way up to the collarbones, and then exhaling, reversing the direction. A 3-part Dirga breathing. If you like, you can add the ocean or ujjayi sound by constricting the glottis in the back of the throat, almost like you're fogging up a mirror. Making that ocean sound. Knowing that this hand position in yoga is known as Sakshi Mudra, which is the gesture of witness consciousness for cultivating self-study. And so holding this hand position helps to open and balance the 1st and the 6th chakras. Those are our centers of safety and wisdom. It also directs breath and awareness into the neck and the head, which creates an effective massaging kind of feeling on the pituitary glands, which supports cervical alignment. It helps us to create space between thoughts so that thoughts and beliefs can come to the surface to be witnessed more easily. And all of this assists us in cultivating clarity, self-study, and equanimity. And if you like, you can repeat the following mantra silently to yourself. Stepping into witness consciousness, I now release any limiting beliefs so that I am able to embrace my innate wholeness. Stepping into witness consciousness, I now release any limiting beliefs so that I am able to embrace my innate wholeness. Release the hands, maybe give them a little shake, shake, shake. And then just begin to roll your spine all the way down so that you're lying down on your mat. Feeling the shoulders nice and flat on the ground. Your eyes can be soft or closed. Just allowing everything that's already happened today to slip from the mind as that is the past. And releasing that mental to-do list as that is the future. The past does not exist and neither does the future. All we have is this present moment. Excuse me, so be here now. And on the next inhale, fill the belly up with air. Exhale, draw the navel muscles into the spine, compressing the vagus nerve, bringing the body into a state of rest and digest. You can continue that nice deep abdominal breathing. Just being here in the present moment and not needing to really think or say or do anything else. Just feel yourself dropping down into the physical realm, enjoying the pleasure of releasing out of thought into the physical. And sense the heart beginning to open. You can feel the spine that allows you to be open to receive. Notice the spreading across the chest as the heart opens. Now allow the heart to open up even more, allowing any thoughts, feelings, sensations, desires, goals to arise, perhaps forming an intention for your practice today. And breathing into all of that now. And inbuilt inside, when you judge, you project your shadows onto others. When you love, you project your light. And isn't it interesting, I wonder if you already know, that we are all mirrors. What you notice in others is what is going on with you. And what you project onto others is also what is going on inside of you. They say anything that disturbs us in the outside world is reminding us of something else, something within. You know, we are filled with associations and sometimes even pain until we clear ourselves, heal and forgive ourselves. Any judgment, resentment, anger, fear, envy, all of that holds us back from stepping into our true selves, into the light and the love we were born to be. So I'd like to invite you to take a full and easy breath in. And as you exhale, bring to mind an emotion or issue you are currently working with or on, and just letting whatever comes up be there, not really analyzing or thinking. That's right. Notice who else might be involved and how this is playing out in your life. If there are any other folks involved in your issue, perhaps repeating in your mind, just as I want happiness and to avoid suffering, so does this person or people want happiness and to avoid suffering. Just as I want happiness and to avoid suffering, so does so-and-so want happiness and to avoid suffering. This form of opening focus helps us to realize that many times people are not doing things to specifically cause us personal harm or pain, even though we might perceive of what they're doing as this way. Rather, they are just as wrapped up in their own minds, with their own struggles, and avoiding their own personal pain and suffering just as we are. You know, we might mistakenly perceive that they are out to personally hurt us. This opening focus can help us to see the bigger picture and step back into our own power and our light. So just taking a few breaths there. That's right. Lovely. And so we'll be rolling onto our bellies from here. So rolling over onto the belly. So we'll be threading our right arm underneath our left. Of course, if you have any shoulder injuries, feel free to extend one arm out to release it. I'm just going to come into this little happy shoulder stretch and take 3 breaths here, letting the belly inflate into the mat. And then gently switching so that the other arm is in front. And then from there, go ahead and let yourself come back up. We'll come back to a seated position here for a few moments. So making yourself a comfy seat, whether it's Sukhasana or something similar. So we're going to interlace our fingers for seated cat-cows. So we're going to inhale and round, almost like you're hugging a tree. And then exhale and switch, arching the back. Inhale, round. Exhale, switch. Now inhale out and exhale, round. Inhale, arch, so switching the direction. One more like this. Inhale, arch, and exhale, round. Nice. And then just release. You can shake your hands out a little bit if you like. So little tiny movements here. Shoulders are rolling back and down. And take our right ear over towards the right shoulder, of course, minding any neck injuries you might have, and really breathing into the left side of the neck, stretching out here. And then let the chin drop down towards the chest. You can remain still or make little tiny micro movements side to side. And then we'll take left ear towards left shoulder, stretching out the right side, just breathing into that right side of the neck. And again, back down. Roll the shoulders back, sit upright. So we'll take our right arm across, gaze off to the right, and then look left and right and left and right. We'll take that right arm around and behind. And so your hand is going towards the middle of your back here. This might be plenty for some folks. If you want some more, you can reach the opposite, your left hand around, and try to interlace the hands. Of course, you could always use a strap here. Just breathing, pressing the head back, drawing up in the core and the spine. Maybe even fold forward a little bit. And then release, bring that bottom arm around on top and counterpose it by hugging. Shake, 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 and then we'll take the left arm across, gazing left, and then turn the head right, and left, and right, and left, and then that arm will come around and behind. One side is usually a little easier than the other. And just breathing, pressing back into the arm with the head here. Maybe a little fold forward if you need a little more. And then slowly coming up, right arm's gonna come around on top. Squeeze it out. Nice. Shake out a little more. So we'll take our right arm underneath first, coming into those eagle arms here. And lift the arms up really, really high as they go. Take 3 breaths here. Now little tiny, mind you, circles with the elbows. 1, 2, and 3, and then reverse direction. 1, 2, 3. Lift them up as high as they go. 2 more breaths here. And then release, shake it out. Ooh, that's intense. And then we'll switch sides, so opposite arm top, lifting up as high as they go. 3 breaths. And then those 3 little tiny circles, nice and slow. And reverse. And then lift up as high as they go for 2 more breaths. And then release and shake it out. Ooh, that's intense. Okay. So we're going to return to that table position for a moment here. So if you need any cat-cows, you can add a few more in the regular position. Exhale to round, and then inhale, arch. Okay. So we'll take our right hand to the front and center and inhale the left arm up, and then thread that left arm through, perhaps lowering neck and shoulder down to the mat. If you want a little more, you can always extend that right arm straight out in front. So that's the next step. You can also bind it, taking the right arm around. You can even add a little more into the neck and shoulders by tucking the right back foot and really twisting. And we'll just hold for 3 to 5 breaths here. To release, you'll lower the knee if it's up, and the hand will come down. Now slide that arm back out to counter pose. Lift the left arm back up 1 more time, and then we'll switch to the opposite side. So left hand comes front and center. Put this out of the way. Inhale, right arm up, and thread it through. Lowering down, maybe extending that left arm straight out. If you want more, circle it around and bind it. You can also tuck that back toe, twisting open, breathing. release the knee, the hand, slide the right out, left comes back to center, right lifts up. Nice. So from here, we'll walk our hands out in front of us, coming into, actually first we'll do a rabbit pose first. And so caution if you have any neck injuries, you're not really going to be putting much pressure on the neck, but just use some caution. So you're gonna come into this seated position. Your hands are actually gonna come onto your heels and the crown of your head goes onto the mat, so you can't have a ponytail at the top of your head. That's why my hair's all over the place right now. So the crown of the head comes down, but not much weight is going to go into the crown of the head. The hands reach for the heels, and you roll forward, really pulling on the heels. And just breathe here, belly comes up and in. The shoulders are really contracted out. And then gently and slowly release out. And now we'll come back up to our table pose. We're going to be moving into a heart melting or Anahatasana pose. So your butt's going to stay over your knees. Your hands walk out. If it's comfortable, chin goes down, chest to the ground. You're just holding and breathing here. You can repeat a mantra to yourself. Maybe it's something like, because it's heart opening, you can be, I completely accept myself. I completely accept myself. I completely accept myself. Or I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And then gently let yourself slide forward onto the tummy. You can take a moment here and release anything you need to release. So we're going to bring our hands off to the side, spider up our fingers. Our toenails are going to press into the mat so our legs are fully engaged. We're going to inhale and roll up, and then exhale down 5 times. One more. And then lower it down. Your hands are going to slide into regular position next to the ribs, elbows hug in, and press yourself back up. And so we're going to be coming up to our downward facing dog. And so tucking your toes behind you. And pressing up into that first downward facing dog. You can walk it out a little bit. You can also do some rolls the spine here if you like. And then pausing for a couple breaths. And gazing forward, and you'll tippy toe in, soft knees, and ragdoll out. And we're slowly going to be rolling our way up. And coming into that Tadasana here. So this is a nice place to add some churning, so you can roll out one ankle 8 times each direction. And then the opposite one. And hands to the thighs, get the knees and the ankles. Switch. And then hands to the hips and circle them out. Reverse. And then tap shoulder and kidney. And then roll the shoulders back 8 times, maybe even add the arms a little. reverse that. And do that whole spine kind of flowy thing 8 times. Doesn't have to look pretty. And then shake it out. We already did our head, but if you want, you can roll the head a little bit too. Real small movements. Reverse. Nice. So you might want to have a block if you use them for half moon on each side of your mat. We're going to come into a warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So I'm going to start with the left foot just because this is where I'm at. And so this is our regular warrior 2. We're working on shoulders today. So we're going to be doing some dynamic motion. So inhale, turn the palms up. Sensing the difference in the shoulders there. Exhale, back. Turn the palms down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So 5 to 8, we'll do about 2 more. Using the breath, just noting the shoulders. So now come to cactus arms. You can also have your hands behind your head if you need a little more support, but either one. So now inhale back to peaceful or humble warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So keeping the shoulders secure and a little bit more restful than arms out is going to really work your core here. Get your alignment down. And last one. And then stretch up, power push that leg. We're going to turn our palms forward. Inhale, reach all the way out. On an exhale, come into Trikonasana or triangle. Only for this one, we can bind to really open up the shoulder and hold. You can look down or up. About 3 breaths here. Of course, you could stay longer if you wanted to. We'll release that. I'm going to come into that half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, finding your balance. So holding for 3. And then step it back to that warrior 2. Pivot the feet in, and turn the toes slightly in. Folding forward into Prasarita, but with the hands in Yoga Mudra to really release out the shoulders. The weight is more in the balls of the feet, but you can even play around with that while your shoulders stretch and just see what it feels like to move, where your weight base is. How the different muscles are connected. We'll release the hands. Soften the knees to come up. And we'll just pivot the feet to be facing the opposite direction today. So finding your Virabhadrasana 2 here. And then inhale, palms turn up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale. Do 2 more. And those cactus arms. Inhale. Exhale. And then power push the front leg straight, palms turn forward. Inhale, reach out. Exhale into triangle, Trikonasana, maybe binding that back arm behind. 3 to 5 breaths. We did 3, so we'll do 3 again. then coming into that Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, 3 breaths. And then back to your warrior 2. And then turn the feet in. And fold forward again. This time, left hand to left foot, right arm up. You can bind it if you like. And then switch. Getting that stretch. Turn the toes parallel, bend the knees, and slowly come up. Take a moment to shake it out if you like. So we're going to come into a pyramid pose. You can always have your blocks here. So your left foot is turned straight towards the front of your mat, and your right foot is back to a comfortable distance where your hips can remain parallel or square. The left foot turns out a little bit. So get comfortable here, maybe stretch it out a little bit. And then if it's comfortable, you can do that yoga mudra here. So inhale, open. Exhale a couple times. And then release your hands down. Just pause and enjoy the stretch for a minute. And the right hand is going to come down. It can be on the ground or a block. And left hand will come first to the sacrum. Make sure hips are square. And then lift to that revolved triangle for 3 breaths. And then a revolved half moon for 3. Release down, pause for a moment, and come up and we'll switch to the opposite side here. And so finding your alignment, right foot parallel, left foot back, turn slightly out, hips are square. And so stretching it out a couple times. And if you want the yoga mudra, being careful not to hyperextend that front knee though. And then stretch comfortably out. You can take your hands back too if you need that. Moving into revolved triangle, left hand down, right hand checks for square, and then lifts for 3. And then the revolved half. And then release. Feel free to ragdoll here for a minute. We'll be coming back down in a minute. Before we do that, we'll move into a chair and a chair twist. So you can always use a block between your legs if you like. You just don't want it to be between your knees. I'm finding that chair position here. So prayer mudra, Anjali mudra. Take your right elbow to your left knee. So the block is going to keep your knees in alignment too and work your inner thighs. So 2 breaths. And then open up the arms like the wings of a dove. And come back to center and switch sides. Twisting. And then open it up. And come back to center. You can release your block quite happily, probably. And so we'll fold down. Step back to downward facing dog. And then lower the knees and slide back to a child's pose. So if your shoulders feel really good extended, keep them out. Otherwise, you can bring them back to rest them. And taking a few breaths here, maybe shifting hips, rocking forehead. And then slowly coming up. So you want your knees to be about hip distance apart here. We're going to move into camel or Strasana. So you can come up onto your knees. Some people like to tuck their toes, some people don't, either way. So we're going to go down one side at a time. So if you're only doing half camel, your hands will stay on your low back. If you do full camel, you'll pivot that right arm all the way back to the heel and then the left. Press yourself forward. Head can go back or be tucked. 3 breaths. When we come out, both hands at the same time to lower back. Both hands. Lower down. And just round your spine to counter pose. We'll sit off to the side, bring our legs out in front. We'll be rolling our way back down onto our back, so you can take it nice and slow. Make sure my head doesn't hit the block. And then hug those knees in and rock out the lower back. Nicely done. So you can take a block for a supported bridge. So there's 3 sides to a block. Call it baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. So choose wisely. I actually do like the highest one, but pick what feels good. It goes right kind of above the tailbone. Nice and firm, so you're nice and secure there. Letting your weight rest into the block so you can breathe. And then inhale up, remove block, and very slowly work your way down. So if shoulder stand is part of your practice, you can do shoulder stand or plow to really get those shoulders nice and limber as well. So just be mindful if you need any, props. You would be having your back on the props and your neck would be down. That keeps the curve in the cervical vertebra. I tend not to use them, but some people, my in-doors will swear by them. So this is your regular plow pose. If you're coming to shoulder stand, hands go where they can reach on the lower back first, and then you walk all the way up towards the shoulder blades, getting as vertical as possible. This is pointed feet, this is flexed feet. We call it pointed, so the toes are flexed, the arches are pointed, and breathing here. So you can spend quite some time in shoulder stand if you like, or come down. You can draw the knees in towards the ear, finding that snail pose, sealing yourself off for a few breaths if you like. And then very slowly coming all the way down. Bend the knees and just scoot my way back onto the mat. Take the right knee on top, crossing it over the left. And just bring your arms off to the side. So I'm going to scoot my hips a little bit to the right here, gaze to the right, and then take the knees to the left to get that twist. About 3 breaths here, keeping right shoulder down. And then knees come back up. We square the hips, uncross. Left knee crosses over right, hips move a little to the left. Head turns left, knees go right. Left shoulder stays down, and 3 breaths here. And bring your knees back up, uncross, square off. Inhale to lengthen. And begin to set yourself up for that final resting pose, Shavasana, making yourself cozy. And settling in, feeling the whole body resting flat on the ground. Perhaps repeating to yourself, as you recall your intention, may I be well, healthy, and strong. May I be happy. May I abide in peace. May I feel safe and secure. May I feel loved and cared for. That's Letting all of these good feelings flow with the breath from your head all the way down to your toes and from your soles of your feet up to the crown of your head. And then feeling your body where it contacts the ground. Beginning to invite little movements back, perhaps wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe you're circling the wrist and the ankles. Maybe move the head a little bit side to side or lick the lips. On your next inhale, on the mat, lengthen your arms and legs out long and tall. And then on an exhale, hug your knees into your chest again, rocking out the lower back on your mat. When it's right for you, rolling over to a fetal position. Pausing here, maybe resting head on the bicep. Just breathing into any intentions you have. Thanking the body for all it does. Perhaps pausing to say something kind and loving to yourself. And then the elbow closest to the ground and opposite hand are going to press down. Belly draws in, using core and upper body strength to circle the hands around, coming back up to a seated position. Namaste. So thank you so much for joining for Thankful Thursday. Let's see what is new and exciting. Well, it's finally sunny again, so yay. If you have any topics you'd like to hear about for Thankful Thursdays, please reach out. I'm available for private hypnosis, yoga therapy, meditation, NLP, some aromatherapy, and Reiki, of course, Reiki trainings. We have a Reiki training in February. I think it's February 27th coming up. Our group hypnosis at the end of the month, I think it's the 25th. It's always last Monday of the month, is on self-love because Valentine's Day will be coming up. So any questions, feel free to reach out, and thank you so much for being here, and I hope you find something to be thankful for today. Namaste.